Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatevers. Today we'll be taking a very special look at a wonderful little game known as Orcish Inn. Now, Orcashen is an orc tavern simulation game where you raise and harvest crops, you brew beer, and you get to manage your own inn. The game is by Steven Colling, a one-man developer in Germany. He does get help with the music and sound by Tillman Hars. Now, as I said, it's currently in development and it is in a very, very pre-alpha state, which means it's only the raw bones of the game. Now, the release of the game should be at some point mid-2015. Now, I was lucky enough to get a little invite to the alpha a week before it's been released, so I've been able to have a play around with it. It was a game I was looking out for, and I can honestly say it's a lot of fun. It's a little game you can either put your full attention into, or you can idle in the background, coming and doing, as it doesn't require a huge amount of attention if you don't want it to. So let's just quickly go over your UI. Now keep in mind, as I said, this is a pre-alpha state, so a lot will change. These are your resources, so that was wood, stone, iron and wool. You can use those to decorate your tavern here. This is your money, your reputation and your rank, as there is a mini game almost within it. Over here you have your use, your hand, you have your build icon, your hammer or your axe as you cut down wood and stones. You have your seed bag, which you hold all your seeds in. Your sickle, which you use to harvest your crops. That is your bag. I've absolutely completely forgotten what that one is. And your fishing rod. Your water bucket. And your inventory here. So, what do you do? Well, first of all, let's go down here again. So, this is your citation. It's basically when, your stamina, I guess. So, not your stamina, your food. How well fed you are. That's your stamina. Over here. So again, the more you do, the more hungry and thirsty and less energy you'll have. This is your drunkenness. After all, you wouldn't be a barman or tavern keeper unless you partook of your beverages. However, the time of year and the day, you have your hub menu here, which will show you the different clans. So you see here we've got your Raven Covenant, and then you can as you get reputation, you can upgrade your abilities. That was your dung bag. So this is your dung bag that you use to fertilise the soil. So this tells you how much what the ground is. So you have to be very careful and make sure you plant things in the right places. That's your trophy. I think that's, I'm not entirely sure, your windbreak, your plant density, and just the overall for the seed that you're currently hovering. So if I was in the hops, you can see you've got some weak stars here, some bigger stars, and you might find a full 5-star one down here, for example. So I'll just take that off for now. So the first thing you need to do in Orcish Tavern is learn to move around. It's simply your WASD keys. There's no jumping, and you can get yourself hidden in the grass. So if you find yourself stuck, you're either against an object or you're against a raised platform. So what you want to do is start gathering some basic resources. So you said I've gathered some wood. You get a rating for the wood, so you see that's 6 stars, it's the best quality wood. Get stone, that's pure quality stone and pure quality iron ore. And as you can see, by using and cutting down, you start to get thirsty, hungry and tired. So we'll move to my inventory, select the bread. Now we have different types of bread, 3-star and 4-star here. Obviously the better the bread, the more you'll get yourself fed. So what I always like to do, I said I've been playing this a little bit now, is to go up and find the cellar. So have a quick look here, it's actually dusk. Now you can see it's screen starting to flash red, which means I'm getting tired or low on my health. So I'll come back into my tavern that you start with. See, I'll sleep all the way through the day, and I've filled up my stamina now. So what we do is we'll come up and we'll get some new bits and pieces in a minute. But first, you want to get some farmland. So you get your farm tool and you make a chunk of land there. And so you can click on that, pick and grow. It costs you 10 Orcish coins to cut that down. So what you want to do is to start growing some seeds. Now barley is a good one, so we'll just fill it in there. Now by filling it in, you can see the quality has gone up as it's starting to create a windbreak for itself. I'll then use some hop seeds. And then some cotton. And we can come back to that later on. So as you can see, we now have some bits and pieces grown there. Brilliant. So you want to go up to the merchant. That tends to always be around the northwest. It's normally around here. So it's dawn, he's maybe not quite here yet, it's during the day he arrives. we want to buy yeast. Now, yeast will let us start to brew our own beers, as well as allow us to make bread. Bread is incredibly useful as it lets us refill our stamina up. As we're waiting though, let's show you fishing. Now, fishing during the day fills up your stamina. You can move your fishing rod with the WASD keys once it's in the water. As you see, if it bobs down, you can collect something. You can sometimes get fish, treasure, or even a boot. So let's see, here we go. So you can press E near this guy and you can buy what you want. Now I'm going to buy some 3-star yeast, as it's starting to get a bit expensive if you go higher up. I'll buy, if you hold in shift you can buy multiple amounts. So I'll get up to 200. That's fine. And I'll then, while I'm here, go to my seed menu and I'll buy some more hops and barley seeds. Now, you do get quests given up as you go along, but we'll come back to that. So that's passed a bit of time. You can always follow the road back and you'll always find your tavern. Now, once these start glowing green, you'll be able to see that they're ready to be harvested. But in the meantime, let's head back into our tavern and bake us some bread. Now, if you use your hand icon on the furnace you've got there, you can put in some logs and then you can put in some yeast. Or was it barley? No, you had to get barley, that was right. So I'll harvest the barley first, so that should now be green. You can just see it flashing there, which means it should now be ready to harvest up. And we'll go back in and just replant it for now. We'll come back to that. But let's get back and we'll get that bread made. Yeast, however, is still important, so it wasn't a waste buying that at all. So we've got our logs in there. We can put in the barley, so you've got six quality ones there. Now, if you actually go into your into a box nearby it, you can actually put items into storage. So I'm putting all the barley, or I'm trying to put all the barley in. Here we go. It's in. So let's try that one again. I think I've missed something there. You normally should. I'm not sure what I've done there, but don't worry about that one. You certainly can put items back in there. I've just had a bit of a moment as I try to remember how to do it. So it should be here. You click on it. There we go. Ah, I think that's maybe a problem. Yeah, I was actually just clicking on the brewery here, so that's fine. That actually did work and it was fine. Now, if you have items of the same type in there, say we've got the wood and the barley, then that will automatically take from a nearby chest. So what we can do is start to put in some wood there, and that will start to make the bread, and we can pick up some bread that we've made, eat it up, and move on now. So let's have a look at our seeds. So I think it was a bit early there with some of them, but that's okay. What we'll do though is we'll just start putting down barley all down it, and you want to keep a good level of crops here, so we'll keep a farm going. Don't need to worry about losing out on crops if you don't harvest them straight away. Oh, there we go. There are keyboard shortcuts that you can use to jump between the two. So your hand icon, your build, so you can quite easily just jump and seed, that sort of thing. So that's brilliant there, saves a bit of time. And I'll have a quick look at, I've just thrown any seed down there, so that was just more for getting something out. But let's try and get some better quality hops. Now, this is a good area for hops. You can see it's got a large star. So I'll dig and make some good land here. And as I said, we can go back to the hop seeds, and fill it in there. Brilliant. So there you go. Got some hop seeds there. Now that's ready to harvest, but we'll just wait for it all to come at once. Now, we're back into midday, so we have to think to ourselves what you want to do. So in your first tavern, you want to get your water bucket. That's key number 8. This icon here. Right click on it and fill up your rain buckets. You will need lots of water as you're going along, but thankfully if you build your tavern near a little puddle or river, you can get that filled up. So that's the end of day 2 coming up for. As you can see, we're starting to get a little bit hungry again, so we'll go in, eat some of our bread, and it's just getting night time. It's time to sleep for a little bit, and then we can come back and have a look at part number 2.